Welcome to Judge TV. Let's get straight to it. Today, we're going to review my experience so far in Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee. But before we start, I'd like to plant a flag and say that I have not completed the game yet, though I have logged more than 50 hours. This is not my final review, and there will be no endgame spoilers. So, let's go. Pokemon Let's Go Eevee and Let's Go Pikachu is the latest edition of the popular RPG series of Pokemon based in my personal favorite region, the Kanto region. However, and to plant a flag one last time, Pokemon Let's Go is not part of the main RPG series. It is not continuing where Pokemon Sun and Moon left off, so you can still expect a regular core RPG in the future. During a Pokemon conference in May of 2018, it was confirmed that the core Pokemon RPG will be released late in 2019. So for those of you who are skeptical or don't really like the mechanics that are presented in Let's Go, or maybe you're not interested in the Kanto region,
You serious?
your core Pokemon game is on the way. However, I would highly recommend Pokemon Let's Go. Now, while we're here, let's kind of start with why it's different. Pokemon Let's Go is different because of the catching mechanic introduced in Pokemon Go on the mobile.
Wondering, is this an out-of-season April Fool's joke?
No more random grass encounters. Instead, we now have a Pokemon overworld. The Pokemon do spawn randomly depending on your area, but you can see them and approach them as you will. You can avoid them or you can go to catch them. There is no more battling in the wild, and it is baffling how many people are upset by this, but I get it, because my main gripe with Pokemon Go was this very reason. I didn't like that I couldn't battle wild Pokemon, I didn't like that I couldn't battle in general, I didn't like that there was no movesets, so really it wasn't for me. However, Pokemon Let's Go has completely changed the way I feel about this catching mechanic that seems to have everybody put off. I love it, and I think this might have a lot to do with the Pokeball Plus. Now, I think I'm going to leave the Pokeball Plus for a separate video, but it has made the catching mechanic so fluid to me. It's enjoyable to hold, it's a great weight, and it comes with Mew. Why would you not want it? There are some particulars of the mechanics that I find troubling, but I'm going to leave that for now and discuss it in a future video when I've logged more hours. Overall, I don't think it takes away from the Pokemon experience. The overworld looks great, the Pokemon look the best that they've ever looked. In fact, this is the best the game has looked, period. I found myself just wandering around and looking at these places that I've been so familiar with over 20 years and thinking, wow. Back in the day, you had to use your imagination for those pixels. What was under that counter? What were on those shelves? What did the person really look like? Now we can see it. We can see what's under the counter. We can see what's on the shelves, in the fridges, and we see what the person looks like. It's honestly breathtaking, and I know there might be some rose-tinted glasses here, but this gives this game so much charm that I just can't stop from being wowed. And that high definition look with all the great detail transfers over incredibly to the battles. If you're a fan of battling Pokemon, this is a great game just to look at. You get to see some of your favorite moves like you've never seen them before. Thunder, Surf, Flamethrower. I'm not going to spoil them here because I think it's awesome, and I was really spellbound when I got to see some of my Pokemon's movesets in this game that just look visually stunning. I mean, it's almost reminiscent of like Pokemon Stadium 2, but in obviously much higher definition, and just looks incredible. As for the battling itself, it's same old, same old. Be prepared to hunt for your favorite Pokemon with your favorite natures, pray to RNGesus for some good IVs, and get that God Squad together. Now, for those of you who are wondering if the game is less difficult because there are no wild encounters, or maybe you're thinking that the game is just less difficult in general, it's not really. Firstly, there are plenty of battles to be had with trainers to get your battling fix, and secondly, I don't think wild encounters ever made this game difficult. In fact, and this might be an unpopular opinion, I never thought this game was difficult to begin with. Now, this is a weird flex, but I beat the original games when I was 8 years old. I pretty much one-shot everything with my starter Pokemon and left my other 2 or 3 Pokemon to clean up the rest. I'm not necessarily in the camp of people who seem to have a problem with this game's difficulty. Like I said, never really felt difficult. Now, this isn't Halo on Legendary. It's not mythic dungeon content in World of Warcraft, and it's certainly not Dark Souls. And this is why historically, people have always modified the game themselves to make it more difficult, hence Nuzlocke. Or, in Let's Go, skipping trainers. If your Pokemon faints, you have to set it free. I'm not dismissing the difficulty argument. I understand how much more rewarding and fun a game feels for completing it if it's genuinely difficult. But Pokemon has never been this, and I personally don't think its enjoyment comes from these systems. However, to those of you posted up in the difficult camp, I will say that I don't see anything wrong with having a difficulty menu. Why not? Or even having the ability to turn XP share off at the very least, right? Anyway, I think the game is challenging enough to be fun. Okay, so let's summarize what I've really enjoyed so far. The game looks incredible, and I've covered this too much, I know, but it's the best looking Pokemon I've ever seen, and it makes the game so much fun. I've somehow become pro Pokemon Overworld. It feels fun and exciting to see which Pokemon will pop up next, and will I be able to catch it despite not having to battle it. I really am enjoying it, even when I'm shiny hunting. Just seeing that shiny pop up and look so magical. It's awesome, I'm really enjoying it. The catching mechanic is just plain fun. Now that's coming from someone who didn't enjoy Pokemon Go, but Pokemon Let's Go is not Pokemon Go. They are vastly different games. Now, I am using the Pokeball Plus, and I do want to discuss that a little bit, but there are some inconsistencies with the mechanics that I've found that I kind of want to log a little bit more time with to review it overall. Right now, I'm still a fan of it. It's great. Battling is a blast. I'm having just as much fun as I ever had in a Pokemon title, finding that perfect Pokemon with my favorite natures, IVs, EVs, and getting that move set just the way I like it. I can't take anything away from this. And despite the absence of wild encounter battles that I've been very used to having, I don't feel like I'm missing out on battling at all. I feel like I'm doing just as much of it as I ever have. So now let's go over a couple of things that I don't really understand and kind of dislike. Then we'll pretty much finish it up. This shouldn't take too long. The whole play with Pikachu thing. I was introduced to this feature in Pokemon X and Y, and I never really enjoyed it. My starter Pokemon already has perfect IVs. Petting Pikachu to create that bond for him just to be even stronger in battle seems redundant. So many times my Pikachu should have fainted, but he just held on to 1 health and then I won. There's not much for me to say here. I wouldn't miss it for 1 second if it was never implemented into Pokemon Let's Go, and I definitely wouldn't miss it if it was gone. Not game breaking, of course, doesn't really affect my experience. I kind of tend to ignore it, so I don't know. I don't get it, and I don't really like it. Now for candies. I know we already had the difficulty talk, and for the record, I'm pro difficulty menu, and the ability to turn off XP share, though it doesn't affect my experience personally. But candies are just too much. After hunting for my shiny Psyduck and not correctly understanding the shiny method, I discovered that by catching so many Psyduck, I ended up with a ridiculous amount of Psyduck and other candies. So I basically just gave them all to my Psyduck. Before I knew it, my Psyduck was one-shotting Pokemon that were many levels higher than him with Water Gun, and he was using Water Gun against water types. Candies are too much. Once again, I wouldn't miss them if they were gone, and I would personally prefer them not to be in the game. Nothing game breaking, but definitely not needed. So, that pretty much sums up my first impressions and 1 week-ish review of Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee. My main takeaways are, this game is not Pokemon Go. Don't be afraid of the catching mechanic, it's actually pretty fun, and to be honest, I would love a hybrid of battling wild Pokemon and using the catching mechanic. Sounds pretty cool, right? Pokemon Let's Go is a Pokemon fan's dream. It's the Pokemon we all know and love, and it's in console quality with great graphics, beautiful models and animations. Be prepared to experience your favorite region, the Kanto region, of course, in a way that you never have before. Listen, I'm a big fan of this title, and I can't wait for the core RPG game to come out next year. Do yourself a favor, pick up this game and give it a try. Be sure to get the Pokeball Plus for the full experience in my opinion. It's not a necessity, but it gets you Mew, and I honestly really like it. Thanks for your time, everyone. Thanks for watching. Leave a comment telling me what your thoughts are so far, or head over to my Twitch channel and help me catch some more shinies and we can experience the rest of the game together. Thanks, everybody. Peace.